Gray's Mail, party time. Excellent. It's Monday, it's 10:30, and it's time to party with your excellent host, Gray Disciple. Party on, Gray. Gray's Mail.
That intro still puts a smile on my face. What's going on, you guys? Gray Disciple back with another video. It's Gray's Mail time. And I know a lot of you guys were worried that I was going to end this series. This is actually one of my most fun things that I do on YouTube. You guys ask me questions and I answer them. Questions ranging from the game to business to family to religion, education, marriage. I love the questions. It keeps my mind working and I love interacting with you guys. So keep them coming. And I got some good ones this week, all right? Let's start off with this one, and it comes from Kaiser Zoze. I like the way you did that, man. Question is this: do you prefer playing solo with a few teammates or a full squad? I despise people who play with a full squad. Let me start right there. I think it's ridiculous. I think there should be a specific playlist for people who want to play with a full team. If you want to go with a six-man team, then the only people that you can play with is another six-man team. Okay, I think it's completely unfair. As for a few teammates, I do at occasion like to play with one guy. More than one guy, I lose a lot of enjoyment. Because if you put me on the team with another dominant player, like if you put me on a team with Rocksteady, or with Truth's Chaos, or with Mighty in Christ, because I played with all of them before, it's almost unfair. If you take two dominant slayers and put them on a team, there is very few people, especially randoms, that could go up against you and win. If you ask me how I prefer to play it solo, there's only so many kills to go around. And when I go into a game and there's more than one slayer on my team, they have a tendency to push spawn like I do, and that causes a lot of spawn flips, especially in Infinite Warfare. And it gets frustrating because if he pushes the spawn before I do, he'll get the kills and I'm just gonna be running around the map forever. So you ask me, do I prefer solo? You better believe I prefer solo, and I forever will, all right? Okay, now the next question, and I'm gonna try to say the name here, it's Gi-I-Nub GT. I'll put it on the screen. I don't know if it actually means something, or if it's a name, or if it's just an abbreviation, so I'm sorry, dude. All right, so he asked, and I'm gonna summarize everything. He says, do you think Call of Duty is ever gonna stop? Do you think they're gonna kick Infinity Ward? I mean, after 13 years of awesome games, is it coming to an end? My answer to you is this: it's still one of the top selling games on the market. Every year it comes out, it garners millions of sales, which equates to billions of dollars. So will it ever stop? No. They will bleed this franchise dry. One thing I could possibly see happening is maybe they won't release a title every single year. I could see that maybe in the future, but that's even doubtful. Do I think they'll kick Infinity Ward after this game? Yeah, I think Infinity Ward's done. Either that or Infinity Ward's gonna have to fire a lot of people because the popularity of this game and Ghost is so low compared to the other ones. They're gonna have to do something. Actually, what I think they should do, because Infinity Ward is doing so bad, is they should go to Treyarch and ask them to create a new DLC for Black Ops 3, to be quite honest with you. But after 13 years and how many billions of dollars that they've made, Call of Duty's here to stay. It's not going anywhere. I've kind of touched on this question before, but I think I have some new subscribers. Too Basic asked me, do you think you would ever want to make YouTube your career posting Call of Duty or other games? And my answer to that would be no. Would I love to have YouTube as a career? Sure. But would I want it to be defined by posting Call of Duty or other video games? No. I think that would get old. Eventually, Call of Duty will dry up for me. I won't enjoy it as much as when I used to back in Black Ops 1. And you can see that by every big Call of Duty YouTuber that's ever been around. After about 5 to 7 years, they just get burnt out and they don't want to play the game anymore because it's so repetitive, and they try to break into different avenues, either a different game genre or IRL videos. Now, YouTube as a career would be a lot of fun, but there is a lot of hate associated with YouTube and the way it's changed, and I've been speaking about that in some of my videos. I don't know if somebody like me could even be successful on YouTube these days because you have to be willing to do certain things. So would I like it to be a career? Sure, because it would be fun. It's creative, but I don't think I would go the avenue of using Call of Duty as the only way to do it. You know, and staying on that subject, Call of Duty in general and people getting burnt out, I get questions a lot from people sometimes on Twitter personal messages and on my videos where my subs tell me, Gray, I can't play Call of Duty anymore. I don't know what happened. I used to love playing this game and now I just can't sit down and play it. Primarily meaning the new ones like Infinite Warfare or Black Ops 3, they just can't do it. And they're like, what should I do? Because I've loved Call of Duty for years. The only advice that I can give you is this. The first one, take a break, turn the game off, take a week off. You got to let your mind rest a little bit, because if you take like a 3 or 4 day break from Call of Duty and you come back and you turn that game on and you try to play a match, the game is moving so fast. And I think if you play the game every single day, you forget to recognize how beautiful it is at times. And then my next suggestion would be go back and play the titles that you used to play. If you go too far back, it's really clunky and you may not like it. So maybe go back about halfway from when you started. So for me, it would be Black Ops 2. And try to find that love for the game again. And if it's not there, then chances are, you guys, you may have just grown out of the genre. Because all the way back from when Call of Duty began to where it is right now, it is overall the same thing. It's like playing checkers every single year over year, daily for 7 years, and the only thing that changes is the color of the checkers and the color of the board, and maybe the checkers make different noises, but essentially it's the same game, the same confined maps, arcade shooter, 6v6, in your face, fast paced. After a while, it's gonna get old. So if you feel like it's drying up for you, just turn it off, take a break. This was actually kind of an interesting question. It came from Eric Einstrom, and I'm pretty sure I've answered a question from him before. He says, why do you play on console? I don't want to bash console players, I just don't understand the reasoning behind it. A lot of PC guys ask me that question. They ask that question in general, and the fact of the matter is this: it's cheaper to play on consoles. And there's more people on consoles, so there's a greater population to play with. I mean, PC is so restricted, and one of the primary reasons why I stay away from PC, and you may think that this is mean, but you guys hack, and y'all know how to hack. Most of the aim bots and game-breaking hacks take place on PC because you guys know how to data mine and manipulate the software and all those different types of things, and I don't want to mess with it. I know I can get a PC and I can play with a remote, and I can change like the FOV on the game, which would be really cool. That's field of vision for you guys, which would help a lot in the game Infinite Warfare, but without the population playing the game and the fact that there's a lot of hackers on PC, I stay away from it. Y'all call them mods, I call them hacks. That's why I've never really gone towards the PC. Plus, to get a really good PC rig, it's like $1,000, man. I ain't doing that. I can buy a console for 250 bucks. Now, I got this question a lot in the previous Gray's Mail because we're getting close to Christmas. I'll just go ahead and quote Rocco's. He says, what do you want Santa Claus to bring you for Christmas? You know, I'm just your quintessential guy. I focus primarily on my children through the holidays and not on myself. You know, throughout the year, if I want something, I just go buy it. But if you were to ask me, what would I want for Christmas? Well, I would really like to do more IRL videos, so I think I need to get a better camera for it. I have this Logitech HD Pro, I think is what it is. I've thought about upgrading my Elgato to that new one, the HD 60, I think is what it's called. I probably, if I'm really going to go into YouTube and make it a major thing in my life, of course, I won't consider it a major thing until I actually start making real money on it, but I'll probably have to upgrade my software and get a better laptop. But to boil it all down, the things that I really want, I need a new chair for my desk. My desk is where I play my video games, and I have been sitting in this same chair for over 12 years. I'm just a cheap guy, man. If it works, I keep it. And then a footrest. That sounds really dumb, right? But I like to put my feet up on something underneath the desk, and I don't know, I'm too lazy to go to the store and buy one. It's not really a function of money, it's just laziness to get it whenever I'm actually out. So there you go. Alright, well, wouldn't it be a Gray's Mail if I didn't get serious at one point? So this question comes from Esoteric. So you guys hear him out. It says, Gray, I have completely lost interest in my education. I feel like I'm going to grow up to be nothing but just a McDonald's worker. Currently, I'm in high school, 10th grade, but I feel like God has abandoned me because of my porn addiction. And then he continues on, he says, I have anxiety every time I go to school, which makes me skip school immensely. I was going back and forth with him in this question. He says, how can I stop swinging my mood in education? Can God help me? If so, how is he going to help me? I feel like I have done so many sins. This is a common thing that happens with teenagers, especially boys, because we have struggles in our life that I think a lot of girls don't. Let me explain a concept to you guys that most people don't get, especially unbelievers. You guys believe that as Christians we're supposed to be perfect. That's the exact opposite. Christians are the ones who recognize that there's something wrong with them, that they sin, they do bad things, and that we need something greater than ourselves to forgive us of our sins so we can earn salvation and go into heaven, which is why we go towards Christ. He lived the perfect life that we can't, so we can go to heaven. All right? So your first thing about God abandoning you because of your porn addiction, it's actually the opposite. That's why God is coming near to you, is because of your porn addiction. Paul in the Bible talks about a thorn in your flesh, which means that God puts struggles in your life. It doesn't mean that he's going to pull the struggle. He wants you to struggle with it to realize your inability to fight or to conquer that struggle, to recognize that you need something greater than yourselves. In other words, the way I view it is God's going to bring you to your knees so you realize that you need him. So God's not going to abandon you because of a porn addiction. The second thing is about school. You're discouraged by or have anxiety of, or you're questioning the validity of completing it. You have to complete your high school education. If you don't, your chances of success in life drop tremendously, like 90%. It doesn't mean if you're not educated that you can't be a millionaire, because it does happen. What I'm saying is that for the average person out there, if you do not complete your education, the likelihood of you living any type of quality of life diminishes immensely. You've got to stick it out. Understand that you just have to pass the classes. Do not skip school. I'm sorry that you're struggling, but it's time for you to man up. That's the best way to put it. Now, are there instances where it would be okay to drop out of school? Sure. If you're afforded the opportunity to make millions of dollars because of you're an athlete, or because you got some gig in a movie, or because your YouTube channel is exploding and you're making $30,000 a month and you want to devote your time to the channel, drop out of high school. Get your GED online. But if none of those things are happening to you, you don't have a choice. You suck it up, you be a man, and you complete your education, because that's what you've got to do. Back to the whole porn addiction thing. You guys, I've done a series on my channel about porn addiction, and I got about 10 or 12 episodes into that series, but it kind of lost momentum. People kind of fell out with it, or I think I may have burnt out the audience talking about it so much, so I stopped doing the series, and people have asked me to pick it back up where I left off. If you guys want me to go back in and talk about that again, I will. It's a very uncomfortable subject, especially for men, because if you're a man and you're listening to this, you're struggling with porn right now. Whether you believe it or not, it's got a grip on you. And if you don't know how to fight it, you're falling to it. Okay, so if you guys want me to go back into that series, you just let me know and we can start it back up, all right? I'm going to end it there. I hope you guys learned something. I hope you enjoyed it. And Gray's Mail will always be here as long as I'm on YouTube. And the only way that it works, remember, is if you ask me questions, so put some down below. As always, if you enjoyed the video, I would be very thankful for you to hit that thumbs up button. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.